Once upon a time, there was a guy named Colton. He always wanted to travel. He would often stare at the ocean and sky, but then his friends would arrive, interrupt his thinking, and start bullying him. Though Colton's mother was always there to comfort him, every day Colton would spend his time in his room, bored. He couldn't travel overseas because he was poor and afraid of heights. Colton would walk down the streets, deadpan, bored, and not caring about anything that's going on. During his time outside, he eventually finds a cat and puts him in his bag. One day, the ground starts shaking like an earthquake. So, Colton rushes home. As he enters, he sees his family watching the news. The TV shows the news reporter explaining that the continents of the earth have suddenly come together. After hearing this, Colton's eye shines with life, and it transitions to the earth as we see the continents of the earth coming together as if they were pieces of a puzzle. After hearing this news, Colton is super happy and jumps with joy. He packs up his things and goes on an adventure. Colton's journey begins easy as he takes his first steps out of the country. As hours pass, Colton gets tired, but he pushes on. Eventually, Colton discovers his first country and decides to explore the area. He happily learns about the place and culture. But eventually, Colton doesn't want to stay any longer. Not feeling satisfied, he continues on with his journey. Colton met lots of people from the countries he visited. Some of those people would even join Colton on his journey as traveling buddies. However, these people would usually end their travels early with Colton, while Colton would continue onwards. Colton became obsessed with traveling, walking non-stop day and night. He visited country after country. Because of that, he ended up in a situation where he couldn't stand up for himself. As he continued to visit countries, the native people of those countries even began to notice Colton's unhealthy condition. Colton successfully manages to visit almost every land on Earth, but somehow he still does not feel satisfied. Despite everything, Colton was still not satisfied, and he couldn't understand why. In an attempt to comfort Colton, the cat puts her paw on his hand. Doing this reminded Colton of his mother. During his resting time, Colton takes this as a chance to look through his old documents that have been piling up. In them, he finds a letter from his family, telling him that his mother has gotten ill. Right after this, Colton's traveling buddies come up to him and ask him if they're going to finish traveling to the final destination, Antarctica. At this point, Colton has a decision to make, either traveling to the final destination or calling it quits so that he can go home and visit his sick mother. After contemplating it for a bit, Colton decides that it's best to come home and visit his mother. He decides to go there ASAP by airplane, even though he's afraid of heights. A few years later, Colton is taking his now healthy mother on a trip to see Antarctica. After learning from her experiences, the cat decides to part ways with Colton. After putting family first, Colton continues his travels, while the cat stays home and travels wherever she wants. And that was the story of Colton, a story told by a cat to her kittens.